Okay, thank you. I welcome everyone to this 19th of June 2026 meeting of the Macquarie County Council, trading as the Central Tablelands Weeds Authority. In accordance with the Local Government Act 1993 and the requirements of the New South Wales Office for Local Government's 2021 Model Code of 25 Model Code of Meeting Practice, the Central Tablelands Weeds Authority live streams and records this meeting. The live stream and the subsequent audio and visual recording will be published on CTWA's website and remain publicly accessible for the duration required by legislation. I note that item 1.6 is a rescission of the adoption of the 2025 motion, and on the understanding that that will probably be approved, the 2021 Model Code of Meeting Practice will apply, which has similar provisions. By speaking at this meeting, you acknowledge and agree that your words and any images of you may be broadcast live and made available in the public domain through CTWA's website. Please ensure that when you address the meeting, you are respectful of others and use appropriate language at all times. Defamatory remarks will not be accepted. CTWA accepts no liability for any defamatory or offensive comments or gestures made during the meeting by participants. Central Tablelands Weeds Authority acknowledges the Wiradjuri people, the traditional custodians of the lands where we work and live. CTWA celebrates the diversity of Aboriginal peoples, their ongoing cultures and connections to the lands and waters of the New South Wales Central Tablelands. Apologies and applications for leave. I believe all members are present and there are no apologies. Disclosures of interest. I call for any disclosures of interest by members and staff. Please indicate in relation to any interest you need to declare what report item you are declaring an interest in, B, whether the interest is pecuniary or non-pecuniary, and what is the nature of the interest. Are there any disclosures of interest to members or staff? I note there are none. There are no presentations. We move straight to 1.6, decision adoption of the 2025 Model Code of Meeting Practice. The recommendation is that Council 1 rescind the resolution of item 5.2 dated 12th December 2025 adopting the 2025 Model Code of Meeting Practice. 2. Note that as a result of this rescission, Council's previous Code of Meeting Practice incorporating the mandatory provisions of the 2021 Model Code of Meeting Practice is reinstated. And 3. Note that Council meeting and committee meetings comprising only councils will continue to be conducted in accordance with the reinstated Code of Meeting Practice until such time as it may be amended in accordance with the legislative requirements. So, a motion, please. Thank you, Member Reynolds and Member Reading. Thank you, Member Reynolds.
Just wanted to highlight that yes, this is forced upon us after a decision by the Legislative Council. However, the Minister has highlighted that he will come out potentially with a new code in approximately 4 months. Hasn't given us an exact date. And so we will see a further development and potentially further changes. There are some people saying, including I think the Office of Local Government, that it may be even harder or there may be some harsher changes, but we'll wait and see what the Minister actually decides with regard to that. I was considering, until I sort of looked at 4 months, in potentially saying let's put some other things back in, some of the good points that were in the current code that we're rescinding today. But given that it's likely that this will change again in 3 or 4 months and we'd have to put it out in public exhibition and not till the next council meeting in, I think it's August, that we'd be wasting our time until we actually see the new code. So speak to just rescind and move back to the 2021, which I think was passed by this council the last time at the beginning of the
August 21, August 25.
Yes, something like that. So thank you, Chair.
Nothing I want on public record.
No, and I'd reiterate, I actually did draft using the overall ones as a base, some of the changes that I should have thought from the 2025 should be incorporated in the 21, but I didn't proceed with that on the basis that the Minister indicated 4 months. We'll see what happens. If things are slowed down, then I would suggest that we look at the regulations and see the good points of 2025, what can be incorporated to 2021 within the current regulations as they stand. And that's what you've got to make sure that some of the 2025 ones will stand up with the current regulations, but the others require the 2025 regulations, which have now been disallowed. Any other discussion on this matter? If not, I put the motion. All in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you. I should put tabs on page 46. That way? Oh, there. Confirmation of prior minutes. The recommendation of council documents the ordinary meeting of Central Tablelands Weeds Authority held at 7 Lee Street, Kelso on the 17th of April 2026. Can I have a motion, please? Member Fry, thank you. Member Graham, thank you. Member Fry? Member Graham?
They look all right to me.
Any other discussion on the minutes? Not, I put the motion as per the recommendation. All in favour? Thank you. As we go to 2.2, which is actions arising from prior council meetings. The recommendations of council notes the updated actions from the previous council meeting. Motion, please. Member Fry. Member Gulliver, thank you. Member Fry. Member Gulliver.
No, thanks.
General Manager, you got any comments on these?
No. Noting item 3 will be closed out hopefully today.
Okay. Member Reynolds?
With regard to actions, there was an action that was missed that should have been in here, and that was to bring a report back to this council meeting with regard to the roadside program, because there were errors in the previous one. I'd like it added so that it can be included in the next meeting in August, or if we have an extraordinary meeting in the intervening period of time, to actually bring a report back. And I'll come to some of the reasons why when we go to the current budget, or current, as in financials. But yeah, I'd like that added, if it could be, to the next as an action that needs to be undertaken.
That'll be action item 3, because if the other one falls away. So that'll be August 2026. And are you looking at that for both financial and prospective for the coming year ahead?
In particular, the last year, because there were omissions in it, and as I'll highlight shortly, there are also some irregularities between what's now presented and what was presented to council back at the previous council meeting.
Yes, some of those irregularities.
Financial irregularities.
Financial irregularities,
Yes.
Yes. Are you also talking about road irregularities or only financial?
Financial.
Okay, any further discussion on this matter? Not, I put the motion. All in favour? Carried unanimously. Go to item 3, General Manager's reports. 3.1 is investment reports. The recommendation is that council note the investment reports as of 31st of May 2026. Motion, thank you. Member Ring, second please. Member Gulliver, thank you. Member Ring?
No.
Member Gulliver?
No, thanks.
Thank you. Do you want us to give us any update on this? Investigations of alternates or not at this stage?
No.
Right, thank you. All right, we move. So can I put the motion? Oh, sorry.
I was just going to highlight the big concern I have is as in the 60-day and the 90-day, as in very little more interest being paid than the 31-day, and yet it's a huge break time. So when the General Manager is having discussions with about potential alternates, we really need to note that if you're going to have that bigger break time, that you do need to get a much better reward than only 0.05 and 0.1.
I know the General Manager from my discussions is well aware of that, and at this stage I'm not in a position to report, but number of investigations
Yeah,
being
yeah.
undertaken.
No, and that's just making sure that it's on the record that, yeah, to note that. Thank you.
Through the chair, I'd be happy to elaborate in the confidential section.
Yes, I think that's fine. All right, can we leave it till then, please? Okay, any further discussion? If not, put the motion, all in favour? Thank you. Go to 3.2, monthly financial report. The recommendation is council note the report from the general manager of the profit and loss statement for the period ending 31st of May 2026. Have a motion, please. Member Reynolds and Member Fry. Thank you, Member Reynolds.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to highlight, and so I was mentioning the previous recommendation with regard, and I'm just trying to find where it's located, that there were substantial variations, particularly in that, so this is 6-3310, etc. down the list. So it's page 65 of the business paper. With regard to the contractors, that all of a sudden Bathurst has run over by 2,300. Lithgow all of a sudden is under by 8,725. Blaney all of a sudden has run over by 5,800, when the last report that came to Blaney Council was we were actually under by about $5,000. So we've now gone over by 5,800. But each of the three of the four, and Oberon really didn't have much of a report, so we can't say one way or the other whether Oberon has or hasn't. But there's been quite substantial changes with those three since this report came back. So that's why, hence why I'm asking for a comprehensive report and a final report on the cost of the roadside for each of the councils, and if there was a variation, why there was a variation.
So you're talking about as compared to the one we looked at last month?
Yes, 2 months ago.
Two months ago, sorry, the last meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to highlight that.
So I think it's worth, General Manager, noting that. Is there any reason for that?
Through the chair, off Councillor Reynolds' heads up to me, I have commenced an investigation into those line items. We've been working through each of the invoices that make up those amounts. I know that there was an error in coding on a couple of invoices, which impacted whether a particular region was over or under. They should have been coded to the private works line instead. So they've been adjusted and will be reflected in the June results, but still closing out that investigation. The full report will be brought to the next council meeting.
Thank you, Chair. And I just wanted to highlight secondly that overall we are running better than budget. So, as in, yes, there will be a contraction, as in with more expenditure for staff wages, etc. When we come to the end of the year. One of the areas that we are going over is with regard to motor vehicles, costing us more. Yes, fuel prices have gone up, but there are a few other unforeseen costs. But in a lot of other budget categories, we have come under budget and not expected to expend too much more in those areas. So a lot better than the forecast, which was, I think, close to 80,000 loss or somewhere around about that, General Manager?
$80,000 loss was the full year budget.
So fingers crossed we come in with break even or slightly better than break even. But again, with, for example, prosecutions, where I think we allocated $30,000, we've spent just about no money at all. And I'll come to it when we come to the budget. I'll suggest a couple of things about moving forward. Thank you, Chair.
Absolutely, but when we come to that, we'll have to consider where we're going with a number of those things. So I know on forestry, for instance, we've probably, obviously, we're over on expenses, over on income. There's still probably we've earned 6,000 on that. Is that right?
So with forestry, we ended up coming break even.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
I thought we're slightly ahead on that. No.
I think there was a number of invoices that came in after the fact.
Okay. Right. Okay. Because I think we've got here expenses 33, income 39. Over and above the budget, the original budget year to date. All right, any other discussion on this? Member Fry, I think you seconded it, didn't you? Mm-hmm. You've got nothing to say?
No, sir.
If not, I put the motion as per the recommendation. All in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Go to item 3.3, CTWA Finance Working Party Minutes. The recommendation is that Council 1, note the minutes of the CTWA Finance Working Party meeting on the 10th of June 2026. 2, endorse the draft financial year 2026-27 operational plan and budget. For the motion, please. Thank you, Member Reynolds. Seconder, please, Member Fry. Thank you, Member Reynolds.
Thank you, Chair. I do want to commend the General Manager, and particularly in trying to get our audit items, as in sorted. Spent a lot of time trying to the outstanding audit items. So I really want that noted. And he's got just about all of them done. As in, fingers crossed by the end of the financial year, as in bank permitting and a few other things, that we will have all of those outstanding items sorted. And we've seen some substantial changes, and even before the County Council meeting today, it was notable, that you were going through and doing a reconciliation, etc., to make sure that everything was okay. As in, sorry, kosher. That's the. So yeah, it's notable, the changes. So I just wanted to commend the General Manager for that, and also with regard to the policies to try and updating the policies, particularly those outstanding ones. He's spent a lot of time actually doing that. So they're two very, very important points within to do it. Now we're passing the budget, are we, for this one? Endorse the operational
2027 budget.
6-7 budget. Yep. So I just wanted to highlight, with regard to the budget, some of the
Sorry, it's the operational plan and budget.
OP and OPDP. Is that correct, or
It just says operational plan.
so it's only OP,
Yes, it's the OP, not the strategic, the 10-year, is it?
which is the BASP. Yeah, it's that one. Okay, so 1 year. The budget again, and we will come to the longer budget before. But look, I'll probably talk about it more when we go to the BASP from that point of view. So I'll leave it there. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Member Fry.
Oh, look, similarly, with those shifts, I think General Manager's done a very good job with actioning those items and getting less reds and oranges and lots of yellows and greens going on. It's good. It's good. It's refreshing.
So, General Manager, where are we? We've got 3 policies, I think, that are out for review. I've given some comments back. I think it's probably time for a workshop or something at some stage to go through those in more detail.
There is a paper later in the agenda on policy update. So the aim is there's 3 key policies that are currently high risk rated, one being the motor vehicle policy, one being the risk management policy, and the third being the compliance and enforcement.
Yes.
Motor vehicle policy, I've progressed with going through engagement with staff, getting their feedback on it, currently updating the policy with a view to then circulate it to the Finance Working Party before endorsement at the next council meeting. The risk management policy, there is a workshop with councillors and the statewide mutual, which is scheduled for July, which will help firm up where we sit on that, with the view that we can then amend the policy to then get it endorsed. And the compliance and endorsement policy, we need to schedule a workshop with councillors ahead of then the council for endorsement.
So we've gone, sorry, just going back, maybe over it. We've obviously looked at the motor vehicle.
Yes.
We've gone staff.
Yes.
So you're intending with that one to come back to council or put up,
Before coming to council,
go to the finance committee. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm just remembering that one. What was the second one? Well, I know we've got the implies and the risk. And the risk we have to have the risk workshop and get our appetite for risk, etc. And incorporate. Okay, fine. Yes.
I was thinking about adding a third dot point to note the progress of the general manager with the outstanding audit items. I think it should be noted in the minutes that the general manager has substantially progressed. So just a short note, the progress of the outstanding audit items.
So you're talking about this is under 3.3. We add a note to say notes the progress. Can I suggest the progress of the general manager
with regards to the outstanding
with regard to outstanding
audit items?
Yeah.
That's in lieu of the bonus.
So that'd be dot point 3.
And I would put in relation to council policies. Both, I think.
If the second is happy with it.
Member Fry, you happy?
Oh, that sounds great. Incredibly well worded, and I endorse it and commend it to the chamber.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this matter? If not, I put the motion as per the recommendation with the additional point. All in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you. We go to 3.4, CTWA audit risk and improvement committee minutes. The recommendation is that Council 1 notes the minutes of the CTWA audit risk and improvement committee meeting held on 8th May 2026 at the Blaney Shire Community Centre. 2, endorse the updated internal audit charter as attached. Motion, please. Member Reynolds. Member Ring, thank you. Member Reynolds.
Good meeting of ARIC. Again, ARIC is really trying to help progress and make sure to cover. And I also, again, commend, but I won't be putting it into the recommendations, the general manager in progressing the document that's presented to ARIC on a quarterly basis. And ARIC has sort of has asked to actually enhance or improve, and the general manager has complied and is really starting to, as ARIC is starting to look at this performance, even though we're a very small entity, still spending a lot of focus on trying to make sure that everything is working efficiently and effectively, and compliance and improving, being constructive, particularly with risk management. Now, I do want to highlight, and it's my not doing, because I did also highlight at the last meeting I was going to contact the general manager with regard to the review of ARIC, which I haven't contacted, so I do apologise to the general manager. I haven't been in touch because we did recommend that we actually do review. Sorry, member.
Should we move the
Shall we
apology?
note that?
Yeah, note that in the report.
What do you do, Mr. Mayor?
But yeah, as in, because we do actually have it on our books that we were to review. So I commit in the next fortnight to actually coming and meeting with the general manager and going through to progress that back through the working group with regard to the finance working group, so that we can get that back to the council at the next council meeting and sign that item off. Thank you.
Fry.
No, it sounds great.
I just like to say that the internal audit charter, in particular, including the schedule attached to it, I thought was very thorough and good, really good. So I'll make that comment. Anyone else? If not, I put the motion. All in favour? Passed unanimously. We go to 3.5, Council Remuneration. Recommendation for Council 1, receive and note the Office of Local Government Circular 26-05 regarding the 26-27 determination of local government remuneration tribunal. And 2, endorse the application of the 3.7% increase of chairperson and members' fees for 2026-27 financial year effective from 1st July 2026. Do I have a motion? Member Ring, number 5, Member Ring.
No, I'm happy with the, sorry. I'm happy with the, recommendation as it stands.
Member Fryer,
Nothing from me, Chair.
any other discussion on this matter? If not, I put the motion, all in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you. We go to 3.6, financial year 2027 budget. Recommendation is council will endorse the attached financial year 2026-27 operational plan and budget. Can I have a motion, please? Member Reynolds,
Could I-
Member Ring.
Through the chair, I was going to suggest, I've had it highlighted that there are a number of items that do need to be further looked at and clarity provided. I'm wondering if the members would defer a decision on this pending a further investigation and further details brought back to chambers.
Right, so we need an amendment.
Can I, as in, if we don't approve it today, we don't have a budget for the 1st of July, so we have to pass, but.
No, we don't.
Don't we?
We have plenty of time to do an online meeting, because with the new code of meeting practice, we can do it online, one meeting.
Yeah.
15 minutes. So there are issues in the paper.
I'm just more highlighting this, as long as we can have an extraordinary meeting.
We can have it next this time, even with Canberra next week this time.
You're the busiest, Bruce, so as long as you can do it. Sorry.
Oh,
We only need a quorum, but there are issues out
no,
there.
that's fine, as long as we can do before,
Yeah.
I was just more trying to highlight, Chair,
Yeah.
as
Yes,
in
I know
that it
we've
has
got-
to be done before the 30th of June, otherwise we don't have any finances.
I wish we did the training on that, because we'd know that then, wouldn't we?
I'm sure you do know, remembering.
But thank you for reminding us.
So members,
I might be the move
I mean, Member Ring, you would be asking for a deferral, would you?
Yeah,
Even though you seconded?
Yeah, I second it. I believe, I was going to ask the question, that's why I seconded it. I was trying to get the question in first, but I'd rather see this deferred so the errors and inconsistencies can be done. We don't want on public exhibition or out there if it's not right.
It has been.
It has been a public exhibition, yeah, but we still need it right
So
if we're going to endorse it.
the old code, 21.
Yep.
We can all attend by audio visual.
Yep.
Chairman, don't you, be physically present?
No.
We've had previous meetings where all have been.
Okay.
You have the option of one or the other.
Do you, yes, how long would it take to make the changes?
I'd need a couple of days to go through it line by line.
Right. So, you're looking at sort of next week or in the next week?
I think the key would be that you need to put public notice that you are holding an extraordinary meeting.
3 days.
3 days.
It's 3 days.
Business
Okay.
days.
So it could be done mid next week, but it'd also mean that I'd need to get those detailed papers out to members and they have time to review those, digest.
Could I suggest Friday afternoon, the 26th?
There is.
Well, we've got Canberra next week. We're all tied, some of us are tied up for 4 days. Oh, well, it doesn't matter as long as we've got a quorum.
Right, just be aware, OLG webinar at 2:30 PM next Friday, the 26th. I've already booked in for it, so
Perfect. We can do it straight after it.
I'll skip that one.
this is on the meeting, this is on the reforms to the regulations of councillor conduct. So,
Oh,
When's that?
Kevin will be that one.
Now, be
This is
better off-
Friday, the
Oh, well, then you
26th.
can't-
Oh,
at
good
2
idea.
p, 2 PM. We could have it at any other time on the Friday or after that,
You can have it up 3:30. How long does it go for?
3:30.
3:30, so
otherwise we-
3:45.
I mean, otherwise we could do Monday the 29th or Tuesday the 30th.
Yeah, Tuesday 30th is fine for me. 29th is maybe in the afternoon.
My council's likely to have an extraordinary on Tuesday the 30th.
We've got a council
Well,
on.
do you want to make it, I'd
Friday night.
rather it late in the afternoon but
Friday.
or Monday, late in the afternoon.
Friday is fine for me, Mr. Chair, but it's up to the other councillors too. I'm happy to move, as in to change in line with councillor Ring to defer and hold an extraordinary meeting once we set a date.
It's not an amendment, it's a completely new, I think it has to be by way of amendment.
No, we'd have to defer, so there'd be an amendment, we defer, because
I've
we
put
already
it
have a mover and a seconder, so.
You have a mover and a seconder for a motion that's completely different, so I would put an amendment up, or someone would put an amendment up to do, because it's not even
To
close.
defer, just defer, then it'd be brought back to the council.
So, do we want to set a date now, is what I'm saying?
Friday afternoon.
Friday the
You sure about that?
26th.
Yeah. I'll be back from Canberra.
I've got concrete arriving that time, and I'm hoping to get it right.
That's all right. Put it on the phone and just put the earplugs and you'll be right.
We can do this by flying minute, we can select a date by flying minute, I'm sure.
Alright, can we put it at 4 o'clock on Friday the 26th?
Sounds good.
Yep.
So, I'll move an amendment that council's consideration and endorsement of the financial year 2026-27 operational plan and budget be deferred for an extraordinary meeting on Friday.
No, don't embed this into the deferral, because if that suddenly changes, then
Be deferred to a date prior to the end of the prior to the 30th of June 2026.
Yep.
Prior to close of business on Friday.
I'll second your amendment, Mr. Chair, your worship.
I'm not a magistrate.
You are a
Or a
mayor.
minister.
You're a mayor, your worship.
I think it's your honour.
No, it's not your worship.
Oh, yes, you
No,
are.
he's not a mayor here. He's only chair.
Oh, he's only chair.
He's only chair here. Yeah.
It's not a worship.
And he's outside his LGA, so he's worthless. So this is
Someone
being,
say that.
can I remind every member that this is being recorded? There's a certain amount of decorum that I'd expect within the chamber as the deputy chair.
Right. So, Bethany, have you got that one? Right. I have a seconder from member Fry. All in favour? Thank you. We go to 3.7. I know we got 4, sorry. Fire security operations manager reports. 4.1 property inspections. Recommendation is council notes a report from the fire security operations manager. Can I have a motion, please? Member Fry. Seconder? Member Graham. As per the recommendation, Member Fry.
We,
Comments, please?
no.
Member Graham?
Nothing further to add.
Other discussion? No. So could I ask, the number of penalty infringement notices is slightly going up again, is that right?
Through the chair, the penalty infringement notice is in the confidential section.
Yeah, but there's a breakdown of,
So the
yes.
the number of inspections
Number of inspections, yeah,
has increased over the period.
it has increased,
And,
yeah.
I also note that the one item in the 90 days area, the delay in that matter was due to we couldn't locate the landholder. That has since been rectified, and that matter was cleared in the first week of June.
So do we expect, I know the total May 226 inspections, 217, do we expect those to go down through the winter months of June, July and August?
Not necessarily. There's still a body of inspections to be done, and
I mean, every other year they have. Just because the winter months, I mean, I suppose the Serrated Tussock can be visualised fairly easily, yeah.
Yep, I'm happy to pass that question over to my ops manager.
Chris?
Through you, Chair. At the moment, we're sort of, inspection wise, we're hitting, staying pretty stable at the moment, but then, as you know, too, it'll depend on being able to visually distinguish certain plants.
So compared to this time last year, if we look at May,
So if you take the reporting period last year, we was 322 for April, May, and this year, this time we're 556.
right. Big, there's a huge number of inspections in Lithgow last year at this time, June
Last
2025.
year,
Okay,
but that spike last year in Lithgow too was partly to do with that rate care infestation we had last year, so that spiked that one.
and if you look at the number of inspections, they're all quite high in April, but they've come back a bit in May, which you expect.
I'm not sure it's the right time, but while we're talking about property inspections, I'll just sort of raise it again as I've done before. As you're all aware that I'm anxious, if that's the word, to when properties get sold that we have an inspection. And I've been discussing it, you know, we've always got someone in our ear about up Macquarie being a bit of a toothless tiger with the neighbour, etc. And I was just wondering if we could get that across the line somehow when the properties are sold, that there is an inspection. Some properties you could say, well, you need to spend $250,000 on weeds, and that'll bring the value of the property back. How the valuer general looks at that for rates notices, all that sort of thing. But I was wondering whether we could sort of cap it, just an idea that the maximum fine or contribution that you'd have to make on the sale of property was $30,000 or $50,000 or something like that. So if we start sending a ripple out there, I don't see, I go to a lot of properties and I don't know where you start, and we've got to have some sort of discipline. I think you're doing a wonderful job here in lots of things, though, because I was a bit of a cynic about it till I joined. But however, we've got to have that whip somewhere. It's just not happening otherwise.
Well, there's two areas if I can. I've pushed very hard and unsuccessfully so with the value general to say that, you know, the way they do valuations doesn't distinguish between properties that are fully infested with weeds as compared to ones that are clean. In fact, the clean ones are paying higher rates than the infested ones, which is inappropriate. We haven't been very successful with trying to get that through the VG to say that in fact, you know, you should be valuing them the same or higher because they're contributing. They're taxing the cost of the LGAs, respective LGAs, and their contributions to this organisation far much by having a fully infested weed and property. It's a question of land value. But on the other aspect, and I'm not sure, and I don't know, General Manager, if you had a chance, I know that Lisa looked into this a lot at one stage. I don't know where she got to with that. She also spoken to all the councils, but I think last meeting we talked about speaking to solicitors and conveyancers to try and get the word across. I'm wondering whether we should be having a convention or a working party with real estate agents, lawyers and conveyancers to try and get the message across, to try and at least say to them, you're putting your clients in a difficult position if they find fully infested properties and next day they get a direction, because we can go straight to the direction that it's sold. We don't have to issue a weed notice, is that correct? If it's had a weed notice on it, yeah.
If it was at a direction level, we would generally keep it
That's what
at that level.
Yeah. So I think whether we have a forum and maybe we do it in one place or maybe we do it in each of the towns and actually stress this, because the people who are really going to have to push this, if we, you know, we can try and get the councils, but if these people don't decide, there's nothing in legislation that obliges them to get a report from us on the status of the property before they buy it.
Obviously, good farmers would love the idea of it, and I've been speaking internally with Bathurst Regional Council, and they understand the reasoning for it.
Could I suggest, like, I think we talked about this before, have the General Manager prepare a notice of motion for the state conference, provide a briefing paper to all the councils, so all the councils can prepare something similar, like we did the other year. Get it out to the JO, to all the councils, and get it out to as many communities as we can, and try and get LG New South Wales to advocate at that high level.
I agree.
Yeah, let's do
I,
it.
I'll work with the general manager, because I think, what we should also do, we have we use a firm of lawyers, and what would be good is just to get one of their conveyancing people to help us with this notice of motion, so we can work out how the government could legislate for it, and then in the notice of motion, we're actually suggesting how it's done appropriately. So I'm thinking we should work with our lawyer.
Yeah, no, I've got no problem.
It won't be necessarily the lawyer who we have direct contact with, but it'll be the conveyancing part of the company, because that's the one we need to deal with to get the wording right.
If we don't have teeth, there's no point.
That's fine. But do you think it's also, and I'll put this out there, worth trying to converse with the lawyers, conveyors and real estate agents?
Can't hurt.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
not?
I actually think that's a good idea.
Member Fry?
Similarly, once that's prepared and a document, would I need concurrence from this board to bring that to the joint organisation as a motion there to get concurrence from that entity as well, or is this board happy to delegate whatever that wording be? Just thinking of timing, it could.
Yeah.
go out.
And I'm sure you'll have Member Reynolds and myself seconding it.
Yeah, great.
But if I've helped put it together, it's probably good for you to put that.
Yeah.
If you're happy with that?
Perfect. I wouldn't be able to vote on it.
No, that's why I'm saying, yeah. Yeah.
So if you can't vote on it, can you
I
actually put it up?
I know. Yeah, you can put it up.
But just can't vote on it.
Can't vote.
Social.
Bizarre.
Member Reynolds?
Along the similar lines, and it may fit under general business, but I'll bring it up here. Our councils are about to start their annual rates notice, where they go out to all councils in late July, all ratepayers in late July. Do we have anything that we can put in or develop in the next week or so, given that the councils probably need a couple of weeks leeway to actually be able to send out in that? Otherwise, we're going to miss another 12 months of a free opportunity to send it out with the rates notice.
Yeah, I think we do that. Michael, you and I have a chat this weekend. Yes. I agree with that. Good suggestion. So I think we've got,
So do we note the extra two things?
yes,
in
that's
the-
what I'm saying. So I'm suggesting 4.1, which we're on, is that council Bethany 1. This is proposed amendment, but I'm happy to do it with a proposed member and seconder. 1, notes the report from the Biosecurity Operations Manager. 2, endorses the General Manager working with council solicitors to come up with a resolution to go to the local government conference for legislation to requiring purchasers of rural land to undertake weed searches or undertake searches with their relevant local authority under the Biosecurity Act as part of the search process for purchasing a property. 3, the General Manager and Chairman will work on a circular to be sent to all constituent councils prior to their issue of rate notices for 26-27, highlighting the necessity or the desirability of purchases of property undertaking searches with CTWA before purchasing, and requesting that council officers make positive suggestions to purchasers that this should be done or something. That's what you're asking for, is it? Yes.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Is it just that we want them to do a search, which is only going to bring up if the property has previously been is currently in the system? or do we want them to undertake a certificate, the same as like we do for a subdivision, where even if it's not in the system, we go out and look at it and then report back clean, bad or indifferent?
That would be desirable. What's the cost of that? 220 plus GST.
GST credit. So
In
at
this-
the moment, you've got a certificate of affectation,
Yeah.
which will show whether the property has any outstanding notices or directions over it.
Yeah.
And separate from that, we have the subdivision search. So if a property is being subdivided, we actually physically go out and inspect the property. With the first one, the adverse affectation, we don't do an inspection. It's purely just to tell them whether there's any outstanding directions or notices.
So if we,
I would suggest adding an inspection component to that first one.
So if we say the desirability of obtaining a certificate, we call it a certificate of clearance or certificate of adverse affectation. What's it? Certificate of
Adverse affectation.
adverse affectation, including an inspection, because it doesn't have an inspection currently, does it?
yeah,
Including an inspection.
there's a list that way.
You happy with that?
My concern there is the fee covering our
Inspection,
costs?
yeah.
And if it's not, and we need to revise that fee, then we need to change our revenue policy, putting that on public exhibition.
Could we suggest a certificate of advert? Yeah, a certificate first without the inspection at least done with us somewhere. Because otherwise we'll have to work out a fee and then put on our revenue policy for what it's going to, and we'll have to get we'd have to get a generic fee because some of our properties are all over the place. So that will take some time. So can we, I think we just start with the first one, getting the certificate. Are there any directions or? You happy with that?
It will cover some of the closer properties, you know, some of them in and around Bathurst closer, but if you're talking about a property, you know, way out back at Capity or something, then it may not cover it.
Yeah, because I just think like if you, as Tony was saying, like if it's just the advertisement one, it's only going to say that we've been there before. If we haven't been there before, you're not going to get a report back on if it's clean or bad. But as you were trying to say before, you're trying to, if it is bad and you haven't been there, you still want to make that buyer or the seller aware of what's there.
Yeah, the problem is I absolutely agree, but as the general manager said, the problem is we haven't priced that yet.
No,
And I don't think we can have a variable price for that. I think it's going to be a flat fee, hasn't it, for inspection and things. So we've got to work out if if you're going to go to Clurriga or Trunky or Capity vis-a-vis the thing, you know, it's that, I don't know.
or you're talking a 20-acre property or 2,000-acre property is going to take different time to get around.
So I think we've got to work the machinations of that and work out how we do it before we can actually put it in.
Yeah.
So I suggest that we need to work that through. I'm happy to put in a 4 that the general manager look at a system whereby CTWA an inspection regime for potential purchasers of property, giving them a weed status prior to their purchase. Is that what it was?
Yes. I'd also add that if the property hasn't been inspected or not on our books, it wouldn't be an issue us going out and inspecting it because it would add to our inspection regime.
It's just our first inspection.
It's the first inspection.
All right, but I think what I just said probably allows for that if we work through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can, that'll come into that mix. I don't think we need to, it's not a good idea to do this on the run. We probably need to think of it, how we're going to do it, put a paper back to here as to what you think's appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think we should be doing it here now because we'll miss something. But that's why I've suggested we go to the first step. I'm quite happy, Tony, when the paper comes back, we can then go to the second.
Yep.
Thank you.
Member Reynolds.
2 points.
Oh, I put a 4th point in. You're happy with that? Looks at the general manager. Yeah. Okay.
2 points.
The proposal and second are happy with that?
We didn't actually get a For the amendment, we would get mover and seconder.
Yes. Fry,
I'll second.
Member Graham, yes.
But I need it read out again. I'm not sure what I'm seconding at the moment.
Given the substantial nature, do we have an original? Because it's changed substantially.
Well, that's why we just said an amendment for Member Fry.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Member-
okay, so they didn't move in
If
second.
they want to, yeah, I don't think so. Who did move it and seconded originally?
Originally was
Yeah.
councillor Fry and councillor Graham.
Yeah.
Okay, so we
The
probably need
amendment's been-
I think if we wanted a substantial amendment, then I propose to put the amendment seconder.
Why can't it just be added with their permission as
Yeah.
additional points?
Well, they can, yes.
Just do it
Standing
then.
moves, we can just change the original.
Yes. So, have you got that, Bethany, or do you want me to read what I think it is?
Read what it should be, Bethany.
Do you want to read it out or what?
You can.
That council one notes the report from the biosecurity operations manager. Two.
Should we do what we remember?
I can't remember now.
I've got my own shorthand.
Yes.
I can try and decode that. Number two, endorse the general manager and CTWA solicitors to develop a notice of motion to go to the local government conference, addressing legislation for purchase of rural land to undertake searches under the Biosecurity Act for.
I think we should say undertake searches and have inspections.
And inspections.
Yeah.
Under the Biosecurity Act for presence of priority weeds.
Prior to any purchase. Yeah.
Yep.
Three.
Number three, general manager and chair to work on.
A flyer,
A circular, sorry.
circular.
Circular for constituent councils to distribute with rates notices, highlighting the need for searches and inspections to be conducted prior to sale, and for weeds biosecurity officers to encourage landholders to obtain this certificate.
Yeah. Sounds good. Well done, Tony.
And four, I think I'm going to put, that the general manager investigate the costs and available resources for undertaking pre-purchase inspections by biosecurity staff and issuing appropriate certificates. Something like that.
Is that to go in with 4 or is that 0.5?
That was point four.
That's number four.
That's four, yeah. Yes, member Rowe.
What I was going to say back a little while ago is with regard to point 3, we shouldn't be just focusing on that exchange. We should be focusing on going to councils on a message on biosecurity obligations of the individual landholders. Also, a bit about the county council. We're here to help,
Yes.
not just to punish, etc. So we should have a one-pager that actually highlights a bit about their obligations. One of them can be if you're going to transfer, but it's a very small proportion of those people who are going to be reading in that rates notice that are going to be looking at transferring property or selling property in that time period. So I think you need a much broader feedback or a sheet, a one-pager, which a member Fry might be able to help develop.
That needs to go on social media and on council's Facebook.
I think it's a separate issue, Chair. I think, although I agree it should happen concurrently, but I think the General Manager, myself, are reviewing a communications plan at the moment. It's going to do that carte blanche rather than in conjunction with any other mechanical instrument of the council. I just think that's happening anyway elsewhere,
The challenge is we've got about 2 weeks. Otherwise, we miss another 12 months with a free rates notice, sending out particularly electronically. So that's why I'm saying there is urgency.
Sure.
Otherwise, we're going to lose for another 12 months.
Okay.
And that opportunity, because a lot of people don't get a quarterly instalment rates notice. They pay up. Some people pay up front.
Yeah.
So
Not that many.
sorry.
Not that many.
Oh, you'll be surprised.
Maybe a lot richer.
Given it's only 2 weeks, just noting that we've got the budget to settle, etc. Do we aim for the quarterly this first year, and then in the following financial year we aim for the annual push out.
I just more as in as I know with Blaney, we only send the newsletter out with the first quarter. We don't send any other outside of the rates notice. We don't not send anything else on the second,
Yeah.
third, and fourth quarters. So it's either that or we miss another 12 months.
I mean, the other,
Right. Well, in order to compromise, we'll get some words to the effect of a messaging that we can send out into maybe plain text or something for this year for the annual drop. I don't see us creating a flyer in terms of business.
Can I ask a question? Do any of the councils, not because Lithgow, we've got a program where I can just pull up my water account, my rates. Are you using that as well?
I think so.
'Cause we're using that, and for us, that's where I get it from. I mean, I don't look at anything that comes to the rate notice. I go, oh, what mongrels, they're putting the price up again.
Yeah, right.
That's what most people are looking at.
Yeah,
They're not looking at what else is there.
I'm aware of that, but as in, what other free alternatives do we have?
I think ask each of the constituent councils to share it on their social media pages and on their web pages.
But social media again is a very small proportion. As in the amount of people I speak to, Chair, that as in say, where can I find out what's happening in council? I say, well, we put it up on our Facebook page. I don't use Facebook as the most common, and that's the most.
Yeah.
obvious.
We don't use Facebook.
Councillors, members, that is a certain demographic.
Yep.
And probably an older demographic, younger demographics do.
Instagram.
And
My
there is-
information from younger people is they went to Instagram to get away from their parents on Facebook.
Yep.
So, yep.
I mean, the other issue is, if you set it out with the rates notice, you're not actually getting purchases because you're getting the people who already own the land.
Mhm.
That's why I was saying to broaden it to highlight the biosecurity obligations
That's right.
and a little bit about the Weeds County Council and what we do, and we're here to assist.
For example,
It might be easier if we just get a penalty when they sell the property. We don't have to worry about any of this.
For example,
Take it out of the sale price.
Suggested originally we go to.
Fix it, we can't.
Conveyances and everything.
That's a county council.
Member Reynolds, in the last annual drop, Bathurst Regional Council put two mobile numbers and names of the constituent representatives to this council through our rates notice, and Councillor Gallagher and I proceeded to get hundreds more calls and referrals. So it was great. It was effective. I'm saying it's effective. So whatever we put in there, we'll
Keep phone numbers off. Yeah.
Right, members, we've got the resolution, we've got the motion, all in favour? Passed unanimously, thank you.
Nice, Tony. First step, mate.
I did note though the change to 3.
I'll have we get there.
Oh, we stop stuffing around.
Not just doing the.
Sorry.
We should stop stuffing around and actually do something.
Stop
We go to
fluffing
item
about.
5, policy library updates.
I'm on it.
Recommendation of council notes the report of the updated CTWA policies.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion, please?
Yeah, I'll
Thank you,
move on.
member Ring. Second.
Yeah.
Member Mahoney, thank you. Member Ring.
I'd just ask if we take it away from being general business. It's actually a governance item and should be addressed appropriately. General business should be either general or urgent business, if anyone's got it. I just think the heading should be describe what it is. It's a governance role.
So you're saying it should be fall within 3 or 4, not 5?
Yeah, it shouldn't be 5. Five's either general business or it's urgent matters. This is a governance matter.
All right, apart from, that point's noted, but apart from that,
That's all I'm asking. That doesn't have to be an amendment or anything. Just I think it's the most logical thing to do.
Through the chair, would it be satisfactory to move it to under the general manager's item?
Yeah, no, that'd be fine, mate.
Okay.
That's, I got no issue with
No
that.
problem.
Member Mahoney.
Just a short comment, just to thank the general manager. We've got somewhere around 65% of high-risk policies have been addressed in a relatively short time frame. So from a governance point of view, it strengthens us as a council. So just an appreciation to you and your staff for resolving that in a relatively short time frame.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on this matter? If not, I put the motion, all in favour? Item 6 is confidential. I note there's no urgent business.
Just, Chair, where are we dealing with the notice of motion?
On this one? Ah,
Yes, so
sorry.
we don't go on the confidential yet.
No, we will not go to confidential. I'll put this under item 5.2.
Yep.
The recommendation of the drawdown period for the 20,000 allocated to each of Blaney, Lithgow and Oberon councils for roadside weed spraying as a result of the August 2025 council meeting, might be extended to 30th of June 2026. I'll move the motion and second it.
Yeah, I'll second
Member
it.
Ring, thank you. I think the motion in the background speaks for itself.
Yep.
Member Ring,
No, I agree.
any further discussion? No, I'll put the-
Quick question.
Yes,
Will this appear in the accounts? How are we going to treat it in the accounts?
I think it's been floated over, isn't it?
So through the chair, the 20,000s are currently parked in the suspense account in the balance sheet, so they're clearly noted, the councils that haven't taken up the 20,000.
They will appear in the annual accounts in the balance sheet, as with each council's contribution left. So,
Correct.
is it Bathurst? One of the councils will have zero, the others will have the amounts left.
That's okay, we took
Yes.
Blaney's amount and distributed it between Oberon and Lithgow.
No, and again, because of the
Got to give him a fighting check.
irregularities, Blaney may not have $20,000. It might only have 15, if that's correct on what was presented today. Hence why asking for that report back. But again, they will be stated as line items. That's all my question is. So,
Correct.
Yes.
thank you.
Right, all in favour? Passed unanimously. Item 6, confidential. Council notes that in accordance with section 9(2)(a) of the Local Government Act 1993, General Manager is the opinion that business on the agenda designated as confidential being 6.1 prosecution updates, 6.2 weed risk ratings by property, 6.3 penalty infringement notices, 6.4 request to commence legal proceedings, item 1, 6.5 request to commence legal proceedings, item 2, of a kind referred to in section 10A2 of the Act, which should be dealt with as a part of the meeting close to the media and the public. And further, in accordance with section 10B1 of the Act, is considered the discussion of this business in open meeting would on balance be contrary to the public interest. Could I have a motion to move us into confidential? Member Fry and Member Dorset, thank you. All in favour? Could you cease the recordings, please, Bethany? And could you advise us when the recording has ceased? You. During the confidential section of the meeting, the following motions were passed. 6.1 prosecution updates, moved by Member Fry, seconded by Member Graham. The council notes the report. 6.2 weed risk ratings by property, moved by Member Fry and seconded by Member Gulliver. Motion was that council notes report on the weed risk ratings by property from April 2026 and May 2026. 6.3 penalty infringement notices. Moved by Member Fry, seconded by Member Ring. The motion passed was that council note the report on penalty infringement notices. 6.4. Recommendation is that council
through the chair, we
Yes,
may
should,
have to,
authorise the commencement of legal proceedings
property ID.
Of property ID LT 3508507 under the provisions of the Biosecurity Act 2015 New South Wales for non-compliance with individual biosecurity directions, and authorise CTWA staff to engage legal representation to prosecute the matter in the appropriate court. That was moved by Member Reynolds and seconded by Member Ring and passed unanimously. 6.5. The motion was moved by Member Bryan, seconded by Member Reynolds, that Council authorise the commencement of legal proceedings against the landholders of property ID LT 3524907 under the provisions of the Biosecurity Act 2015 New South Wales for non-compliance with individual biosecurity directions, and authorise CTWA staff to engage legal representation to prosecute the matter in the appropriate court. The next meeting of council is scheduled for 2 p.m. on the 21st of August 2026 here at 7 Lee Street, Kelso. I declare the meeting closed at 3:56